House Speaker Mike Johnson believes President Biden is covering for his son Hunter Biden's business dealings and confirmed that the impeachment inquiry into the president will continue. The new speaker telling Fox News Digital exclusively, quote, "We have to respect and regard due process and do this in a way that the founders would have intended. We have not predetermined the outcome of this. We've not prejudged it, but I think everyone can see how it is unfolding." Let's bring in Texas Republican Congressman Lance Gooden. Welcome, Congressman. You know, before all this stuff has happened in the news, the war, a lot of things have happened. It seemed like there was a lot of attention focused on this case with Joe Biden. And then now here we are. You're trying to bring attention back, but you're saying the investigation has not stopped.
That's right, and I think what you were trying to think of to say was that we had a big speaker drama.
A big speaker thing, thank you.
Yes, that's what it was. The last 3 weeks, and we are back to business. Mike Johnson, our new speaker. There is not one member of the United States Congress that I have any more faith in to follow the Constitution and the law. He is such an honorable man and a good man. Even Democrats had good things to say about him. They do not agree with him on many issues, but they all agree that he is a good man and a very likable guy. And I think we're in for some really great things ahead as our nation with Mike Johnson as our speaker. But
yes.
Back to the investigation, we met just this week. We met with Chairman Jim Jordan, who is now back at it full speed with the House Judiciary Committee, of which I'm on. And we are making plans. We are working with James Comer's committee, House Oversight, and we've got lots of information coming in. We've got an interview with David Wise, the special prosecutor, in a few weeks. I think that will be very helpful. And as this ramps back up, I think the American people will see how thoughtful the process is and very much unlike what the Democrats did to Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine any more dots need to be connected, but I appreciate that you guys want to go through the process properly and make sure you come to the right conclusion. Certainly that President Trump was not afforded that kind of due process. But the latest that I've heard was this $200,000. This was right before the whole speakership thing and the war. The latest thing that had come out was this $200,000 payment that went from, I believe, Joe Biden's brother Jim to Joe Biden, and then I think he paid off his beach house with it. What's going on with that?
Well, allegedly that was a loan repayment. We've got some more information coming out in the coming weeks. That originated from the House Oversight Committee. The White House seems to have an answer for everything, but what we have found is that statements that they make are generally picking up the pieces. When we've learned that President Biden has been untruthful, we've found that these shell companies that have been created over the years, they just don't tell the story of an honest business operation. We've also, I think it's common knowledge that the Joe Biden name has really become a currency there among the Biden family in Washington and in international circles. And I think that as we have finally gotten a speaker and we're back to business, you're going to see these investigations really ramp up and the story will be told for the American people in a very productive way.
So the investigations have continued, they're ramping up, but then what? Because the Democrats didn't have any problem impeaching the last president twice with far less. In fact, in the second one, he's been vindicated because that one was about Joe Biden being corrupt. And so here we are. What do you plan to do with that information? Are the Republicans willing, even in an election year, to pursue impeachment?
I believe that to be the case. I believe that as this impeachment inquiry wraps up, we will get to a place where we go down the road of impeachment. And I am not interested in delaying something just because we are in an election year. That's a political answer for not doing the right thing. Frankly, we should have had this rolling many months ago. I won't make excuses for various people that made decisions that I disagreed with. But I'll say that that House Speaker Mike Johnson does have a plan. We will get through this impeachment inquiry, and I do believe that in the coming weeks and perhaps before Christmas, we will be at a decision point and move into impeachment.
Well, I've heard a lot of
if the facts lead in that direction.
There's a lot of hope for Republicans out there. I've heard you're going to pursue this impeachment. I've heard that January 6 tapes are going to be released. So a lot of things could happen here that a lot of Republicans have been waiting for. So let's hope that happens.
I'm right there with you, and I have full confidence in Speaker Johnson.
All right. Well, we'll see. Thank you so much, Congressman. Appreciate you joining us.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.